So the location of this painting really needs no introduction. This is Venice, Italy, one of the most famous and well-traveled places in the entire world. My grandfather was a California-based artist, but he traveled and painted all over the world. One of his favorite destinations was Italy, and in particular Venice. On a trip in the year 2000, he took a photo that would be used to make this particular piece. The most important technical part about a painting is going to be the tonal value pattern. By turning the saturation down, I can show you how it looks in just a grayscale. When examined in just values, you can see the dramatic lighting within a painting. There is an effective use of dark values, middle values, and light values. It becomes easier to see the gondola operators as islands of light that help your eye work to the light values in the building in the background. If you're considering doing a study of this painting, I would recommend doing it just of the value pattern. Second to value is color temperature. Most Don O'Neill paintings, there is a deliberate competition between warm and cool tones in a painting. This is one of those paintings. Here we see this temperature contrast between the buildings that are in the shadows and the buildings that are in more direct light. The building on the right is mostly a neutral violet, while the shadows on the building on the left have more warm tones to them. There are multiple groups of people within this painting, a few gondolas in the foreground and then a crowd in the background. The crowd in the background loses itself to abstraction. This is deliberate. People within the scene add both story and frame everything up to the human scale. All the figures are painted in a rather impressionistic manner. The goal is gestures of humans, not anatomical studies. A major goal of this series is not only to share insights about Don O'Neill paintings, but also highlight the process behind their creation. I am very fortunate to have the original photo reference he took back in the year 2000. It is rather impractical to take an entire painting kit with you to a foreign country where you would spend all day to perhaps get just a single painting, and in the end, it may not be a very strong painting. My grandfather would walk around with his camera and take multiple rolls of film with him with the goal of collecting source material. When he got back to his studio in Riverside, he would only use a few of these photos as source material for watercolor paintings. This process allows him to really work with his best options, rather than just his first option. What you will notice was that he only used the inside portion of the photo. He constructed a small piece of cardstock to frame up the composition that he wanted. The outer portion was completely cropped out. Most photographers will be rather open that this is not a great photograph. While both painters and photographers make images and will use a camera as part of their process, they have different priorities and thus do so in different ways. Painters use brushes, which no matter the level of control is never going to get the same resolution as a modern camera lens. Cameras can be pixel perfect, brushes cannot. The artist mainly needs the photo for scale, perspective, and basic forms because they will both simplify and invent the rest. For example, the background in particular was greatly simplified from the original source material. A portion of the gondola was completely removed. The brick wall was simplified, the overall idea of the color was retained, but the exact colors were absolutely not. The goal is creating a painting. The camera is a tool that can be of use. The goal of a painting is not a perfect recreation of a photograph. I made an earlier video about this idea of a painter's camera, which I will link to in the description. So thank you for watching. That was Canal Tie-Up Venice. If you're in the market for a G-Clay print, go take a look on DonO'Neill.com. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.